What is going on, people? Welcome to the Man Hour. This is your boy Brandon Combs coming to you live with the Man Hour After Dark alongside my boy Mike LeBlanc. Mike, what's going on, buddy?
What is going on, man?
Hey, man, look, we've got no Michael Buckheister tonight. We ain't got to deal with none of the crap that's come out of his mouth. We ain't got to deal with none of the stuttering. We ain't got to deal with none of that shit. It's just us. Don't do our boy like that. Don't do
I love you. I know you're out there watching and you on vacation with your family, taking some family time. But no, we love you and it's all good.
Hey, Buck, man, we love you. We can't wait to have you back next week. But, you know, hey, what do they say? When the cat's away, the mice will play, right?
Hey, at least we're not going to have no bullshit, though.
We're going to have some bullshit because we have Matt Benz from Twist coming on. We got Benzie joining us going over his power rankings. So we're going to have some bullshit. But before we get to that, seriously here, on a serious note, happy 245th birthday to all my brothers and sisters in the United States Marine Corps. Cheers to you guys. Happy birthday. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. And for, you know, all of you veterans out there, all of you that have served, men, women, those who have gone overseas, and those who have not, those who have lost their lives especially, you know, look, we love you all and thank everybody, each and every one of you for your service. And we love each and every one of you. So, without further ado, let's bring on the bullshit we were talking about. Betsy, what's going on?
Yeah. It's your boy, Matt Benz.
This is
going to be on Twitter, at TwistBenz. TwistSportsTalk.com. What up?
What's going on, Benzie?
What's going
Not
on,
much,
Benzie?
man. Just
relaxing. You're married now, so you're on lockdown all the time now, right?
Not necessarily that. It's just, man, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning for work gets at you, man. It gets after you. But I got tomorrow off. That's a good feeling. We got some snow coming in right now.
Your boy chiming in, giving you a little love. It's not after hours, so you get a little twist with Matty John Benz.
It's an odd thing that actual Reeves is actually speaking positively about me. That's a good thing. We haven't gotten to the power rankings yet, though, so that's the thing.
If anybody knows about giving you a twist, though, it would be Mike Reeves, wouldn't it?
That's right. twist and shout.
Then my son chimes in. I know Amy is going in, and Dad, thank you for your service. You are welcome, kid. And yes, my daughter just turned 18, and she is going into the Army. So, you know, hey, keep it in the family, and I know she's going to do great things for sure. So, all right, Benzie, look.
Burn some time here, boys. Burn some time. Start off with some other chatter. I'm getting my prep. You can see it glowing in my face right now. Give me a second.
Look. How long's it been since you got married? How long's it been?
September.
Okay, so it's safe to say you haven't seen any football since week 2, right?
Oh, no, I've been loving it.
By judging by your power rankings, you haven't seen a lick of football since week 2.
Oh, please. Says the guy who says the Bears were good. Get out of here with your horse shit takes.
They were good for the first 5 weeks.
When? No, they weren't. No,
they were 5-0.
What did I say? I said they were going to fall off a cliff. All this talk about Brady falling off a cliff, The Bears are yodeling down the Everest right now.
Brady fell off a cliff Sunday night. I think he might have like ran and jumped off the cliff. And if he didn't after the game, he ran and like he did something. I mean,
what's funny about that game is, we didn't say Aaron Rodgers was falling off a cliff when he played shitty against the Bucs, but now
shitty against the Bucs. But let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers didn't get his ass beat 38-3.
Sure, understandable, but also
it was close, wasn't it? Like 36-10.
Yeah,
it was close.
Tom Brady was just trying to do too much, though. You know what I'm saying? You could see he was trying to do too much, and that's. I think
that offense was trying to find. I think that offense was trying to find an identity with Antonio Brown. I think that was a bad signing. I think it was a bad signing, and I think that they were trying to do too much that night. I really do. And not only that, but I mentioned this last night with Buck. I said I think that the Saints needed to win that game more than the Bucs did as well. So the Saints came out firing on all cylinders. They needed that game way more than the Bucs. They lose that game, they're down 2 games to the Buccaneers as opposed to up a half a game. So
sure.
I mean, I don't want to take too much into it because any given week. Yeah, but I mean, any given week, anybody. I mean, who the hell would have thought the Miami Dolphins? And we were talking about this on TSS this week. We had at TSS, we had the Miami Dolphins in the top 10.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that headed into the season that the Miami Dolphins would be in your top 10 power rankings?
I get it. Who would have thought that Tua would have came in and it would have been so seamless? And
who would have?
Last night, or not last night?
Sunday. You know what I mean?
Sunday, he went toe to toe with Kyler.
He out Kyler Murray in Arizona.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say Kyler Murray, but he beat Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray still did his thing and did it better than what Tua. Tua can never do what Kyler did that last game.
Did you see that run that Tua did to have that game tying drive? Keep it alive.
He rushed for 100 plus. He rushed for 100 plus and won and threw for what, 4?
Yeah.
That's incredible. But no, to see the Dolphins actually get into a shootout, which is something that the Dolphins haven't been able to do in years, and win, that's impressive. So it is good.
No, absolutely. All right, so are you ready now, Benz?
It's pulling up, but I can still go.
All right.
Start at number 10.
We're about to go to this stuff, and LeBlanc hasn't seen it yet. I've seen it, so I know how bad it is. LeBlanc's about to go crazy, though. So here we go. At number 10, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off of a rough beating by the Saints. It's really interesting to see what happens when you get swept by a team like the Saints. They still have their signature win in beating the Pack. But other than that, the strength of schedule definitely isn't there. It's weird to me to see their defense just get shelled upon. And that's supposed to be their strength, right? You see all this hype, and you see them just getting out-coached. That's the thing that hurts me the most about this team, when you have all of this talent, and then you see them get out-schemed 3 weeks in a row. I mean, the Giants were keeping up with the Bucs, let's be honest. So that in of itself is scary. And I'll let you
not only that, but
it.
you're also going to move down to number 10 when you lose to the Saints, and you're getting listed by a guy who wears Drew Brees thongs to bed at night. So I mean,
that's when I wear underwear. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like the Bucs at number 10. I don't like them in the top 10 at all. Their strength of schedule. Their strength of schedule. Number 1. Number 2. They had a hard time keeping up with the Giants. The Giants were actually keeping up with them. And then they go in to New Orleans comes into their home and just gives them a shellacking. Like, Drew Brees bent Tom Brady over his knee and spanked him like a little boy Sunday night.
Well, he spanked the defense like a little boy. He didn't spank.
No, I mean,
and that's what I get. I don't understand that when we do that with quarterbacks.
When we talk about these games, we talk about quarterbacks going toe to toe with each other, right? Regardless of the defense. We talk about
so the Saints defense smacked down Tom Brady, not Drew Brees.
No. Tom Brady.
Well, when you're up by 30 points at half, that's a shellacking, as we call it in the Midwest.
No, absolutely. And look,
I don't like Tampa Bay in the top 10. I don't even think. I think this is.
Who would you put there instead of them?
Dolphins, for sure.
Well, okay.
Interesting. I mean, I put the Bucks in the top 10 simply because of what they can produce. Yes, they're inconsistent, but I definitely think that if they have the record that they have and they are a playoff contender, they're at least a 10 team. That defense is solid and had an off week.
I think this is the downfall of Tampa Bay. I think this is when we were seeing Tampa Bay start losing games. The Giants started to provide a blueprint on how to control Tom Brady, his passing game, and how to control that defense. And the Saints took it and ran with it and came out and whooped the shit out of them, 38-3.
I think we need to check what kind of juice you're putting inside that little
what we'll see here,
there.
LeBlanc, I like what you're talking about. I think that is potentially, but they play the Panthers this week, potentially without Christian McCaffrey once again. Then they got to go to the Rams, and then they got to play Patty. And when you come to play Patty, that will be – we'll see. Can they beat the Rams even? We're getting ahead of ourselves if we want to see what they can do against the Chiefs. Right? Can they beat a hot Teddy Bridgewater? We'll see about that as well. They're 1-2 in prime time this season, and they're only scoring 16 points per game in prime time. That's crazy, right? They're still shutting down the run, but they have the most takeaways in the NFL on defense. They've got 16 takeaways. So they're there. The talent is there. The positions are there. Can they coach this team? That will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I like Tampa Bay at 10. I like them in the top 10. I think I like them a little bit higher than 10. But I have no problem with them at 10. I can't find 10 teams that are better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No matter how bad they just lost to the New Orleans Saints, I can't find 10 teams that are better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. At number 9, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Another team I think might be too low, but what's your reasoning here at 9?
My reasoning here, I mean, they're a 5-3 team. They lost to the Dolphins 34-31 in the shootout that we were talking about earlier. They play the Bills this Sunday, which is going to be their tester game, another tester game. And then they got to go play Seattle again and then New England. Yes, New England is New England this year. They're not the Patriots of old, but it's still a trap game for a lot of people to scheme around because you're going against Belichick, whether he has the talent there or not. The Cardinals
they
are
almost
still
just lost to the 0-8 Jets.
Yeah, isn't that impressive? And that's just what I'm saying. You know, you go into a primetime game and you're going to get either the best or the worst of a lot of teams. Right?
Yeah.
The Jets are the Jets. The Jets don't play to win, but they play to scare some people. That's for sure. So, the Cardinals have been okay defensively, but they can't get in shootouts every single week. It doesn't work for teams. You can't do that. They have to learn how to pace the game instead of just being electric scoring and letting the other team shoot right back and hit them in the jaw. So we'll see, but I like the Cardinals at 9.
I like them. I like them a little higher than 9. I like the Cardinals at 6 or 7, honestly. Kyler Murray, this season, still to me, Kyler Murray is still electrifying. And I think when they get into the playoffs, the Cardinals are still going to be a team to beat in the playoffs.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, and I get that they just got into a shootout, and they get into shootouts every week. The defense hasn't really been able to stop very many opponents. So that is a very suspect defense. And so I understand where you have them at 9. I still think that they're a little bit better than, to me, if you ask me, if I'm putting Arizona against Baltimore right now, I'm taking Arizona in that game. And I get how suspect that defense can be, but I trust that defense more than I trust Baltimore's offense. So that's just me. So I like them more than Baltimore. So I would have them a little bit higher in my rankings as well.
Yeah, I'm still way higher on Baltimore, but we'll get to that just simply because of their coaching and simply because of their veteran, leadership on both sides of the ball. So you want to go at number 8?
At number 8, we got the Miami Dolphins.
Isn't that interesting? The 5-3 playoff contending Miami Dolphins who beat the team that we just talked about 34-31. And get this, the Dolphins' next 4 games, Chargers, Broncos, Jets, and Bengals, boys. That's what I'm talking about. They have the yellow brick road to fucking the playoffs.
They really do.
They really do. And their number 4 ranked defense, who people are sleeping on their defense right now. They only give up about 20 points per game. And if you got a guy like Tua that can hopefully limit the mistakes and learn each game, get better and better, that team has got talent, boys. And it's great coach. It's a great coach team. I like the Dolphins right there.
Yeah.
I don't see the Chargers is a kind of a trap, and the Broncos, let's be honest, if Drew Lock keeps playing like he played this last week, that shit's crazy. But the Jets and the Bengals, so that's where
that's exactly where we had the Miami Dolphins on TSS this week when me and Hoffy were going over it. We started going through all the teams. Are they better than this team? Are they better than that team? And it's funny because your 9 and 10 team, we both said they weren't better than. So we had those guys higher than the Dolphins, but we have 2 of your teams that are lower on your list. We had them behind the Dolphins. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I like the Dolphins at 8. I really do. Look, this Dolphins team is up and coming. I get it. They're the darling right now. Everybody wants to see this team succeed. Everybody's rooting for absolute chaos. Right now, I would love nothing more because the Bears aren't going anywhere. I would love nothing more than to watch the Miami Dolphins win the Super Bowl. and people's heads just explode. Like, that would just be amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, they aren't there yet. They're definitely going to play spoilers. I can see that happening. But, I mean, they are a couple years, if not a year or 2 away from being contenders, and that's scary because they are very young. I mean, so
when you look at any team, in my opinion, I don't give a shit. Any team that gets into the playoffs, if you're in the playoffs, in my opinion, you're a contender. I mean, let's just take the Philadelphia Eagles. They got into the playoffs 2 years ago at 8-8 and ran the table with a backup quarterback and went and won the Super Bowl. So,
I get that aspect of it, and it happens few and far between. And don't get me wrong, I love a Cinderella story, but if you look at a team like the Chiefs last year, most people had the Chiefs winning it, and what they do? They walked in and won it. I mean, they came from behind almost every game in the playoffs, but they still freaking came back. They do what they do. That's what I mean by when you got those top tier teams. I still don't put the Dolphins in there, but I like what I see, and that's the good thing about that.
Yeah, no, I really like what I see with the Dolphins. And you know what's funny, too, is because I've said this, I say it like I see what they're doing with Tua, and I like what Tua brings to the game. I like them even more with Fitzpatrick. So the fact that they're still doing this with Tua just shows you that this team is actually probably pretty talented and more talented than any of us thought that they were heading into this season, for sure.
And what I like about them as well, just the last part that I have is, you can see the different schemes from Fitzmagic to when they brought Tua in off of that bye week. And you can see that it's not the same gunslinger attitude. You can see it's more of like scheme plays and more intricate stuff that Tua learned how to do in college that he's really good at. So I like that aspect of it too.
It's definitely more methodical than it is in the
game. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So at number 7, I need to have that thing that Reeves has. I need to get that little echo thing that he's got. That he was doing the last time.
That's a beautiful thing.
All right, so at number 7, we got the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, we've got a code red. Benzie's panicking for the Seattle Seahawks, and I know we talked about the Bucks and how that's in full-fledged panic mode. Well, I'm in full-fledged panic mode for the Seahawks. A team that puts up 34.3 points per game, and they lose 44-34 to the Bills. Now, I understand the Bills are supposed to be a grinding out team, and they are electric, right? I understand that aspect of it. But I'm seeing when I watch...
Hold on. Buck this morning? Have you been, talking to Buck?
No. No, sure? Not at all.
No. I mean, there's some bullshit coming out of your mouth right now.
No, not at all. Did you watch that Seahawks-Bills game?
I did.
Yeah.
But to say that the Seattle Seahawks are in full-blown panic mode,
I'm in full-blown panic mode for them from what I saw against the Bills. They came out with zero swag. They came out with zero confidence. They played like the underdog. That they came into that game thinking they were going to get beat, and they got beat. And that's what's scary. You kind of see that how they sacked Josh Allen a season-high 7 times in that game, right? So they brought some more pressure, which is good. I totally agree with that. But the chunk plays that team gives up is disgusting, man. You got a guy like DK Metcalf on your offensive part of the ball. You should never lose a game. Let's be real. That dude is a man among boys. So I have the Seahawks here. They play the Rams this Sunday, and I would not be surprised if Goff goes off against that secondary. And that I'm not a Goff fan.
I would. Anytime anybody says anything about Goff going off,
Exactly.
I would
right?
absolutely pause because
daily fantasy guys, play Goff this week. You will not be pissed off at Benz. I guarantee that.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's sad.
Benzie,
it's sad
man.
Because Russell Wilson is in his peak prime right now, and they're just spoiling it away because they don't have any DBs, and that's the shittiest part about it. So, yeah, I know it's a tough one. Believe me.
I still think that they are a top 2 team in the NFC.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I don't know.
They're better than your Saints.
Oh, come on, man.
They're better than your Saints.
Dude, how? Tell me how.
What do you mean how? Because the Saints had
one good. How have they had one good week? They're 6-2.
And what did you just say about the? What did you say? What do you keep saying about the Bears?
6-2.
What do you keep saying about the Bears?
The Bears are trash, dude.
Right,
what are you talking about?
All right, and the week before, the Tampa Bay just beat the crap out, or got their ass beat by Seattle, by New Orleans. Yeah. The Bears took New Orleans to overtime.
Yeah, I understand.
New Orleans isn't blowing teams away. Seattle is better than New Orleans right now.
No, they are not, because they don't have a defense. Combs, they don't have a defense, and we'll get to that in the power rankings. You need to understand that just because the Seahawks have Russell Wilson, that doesn't make them better than the Saints. The Saints are a better overall team, and it's going to show in the longevity of the season. I promise you it will. It just will.
All right. You're wrong, but we'll move on. At number 6,
next.
We've got the Buffalo Bills at number 6.
7-2, beat the Seahawks. They play the Cardinals on Sunday. Like we talked about, it's going to be a great matchup. What I like to see out of them is just the Bills' defense finally finding some sort of flow, even though they still gave up 34 points. They brought the pressure on them. They got 4 turnovers in that game, and they scored 16 points on the defensive side of the ball, and that obviously was the reason for their W. So Josh Allen playing a lot better this week, but still too inconsistent to see. Diggs is still the biggest crybaby in the NFL, so we'll give him that tag, #DiggsBaby, and that's why I have the Bills right there at 7-2. Interesting matchup against the Cardinals. I still think that they will win it and win their division.
LeBlanc, I mean, I know that the Buffalo Bills just beat the Seahawks. I get it. And
above the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I mean, the Seahawks have arguably the MVP.
Yeah, arguably, yeah.
Who else? Tell me who else.
DK Metcalf.
Offensive MVP.
Tyler Lockett. Carson will be back.
MVP of the league. You say DJ?
I don't know. Do you still put Russell Wilson at MVP after last week?
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, I don't know. Do you?
Yes, man. Sir.
Over Patty? You put him at MVP over Patrick Mahomes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You think that Chiefs team is as good as they are right now without Patrick Mahomes?
Maybe not, but that Seahawks team isn't as good without Russell Wilson either.
No, not necessarily, but I still think Patrick Mahomes is the MVP right now after this last week. That doesn't mean that Russ isn't right there.
Hold on. How is Ben Roethlisberger not in this conversation? How is Ben Roethlisberger not the MVP so far?
Interesting. He could definitely be up there. I don't know. I think that defense has won more games for him than he has won for them. That's the interesting part about it. Not saying that they would be where they're at, not saying that they'd be undefeated, but that defense is so stout.
We're about to find out this week since now he's on the COVID list.
Against a trash ass team. He'll be back. Watch, he'll play Sunday just like Stafford played.
The Steelers shouldn't be undefeated after this past weekend. The Cowboys had that one. The refs screwed the Cowboys. Come on. The Steelers came out flatter than a frickin' Diet Coke with the top off. Come on. Okay.
But yeah, that was
Chip
a scary
Cannon
game.
chimes in with a quarterback will not win MVP this year.
Dalvin Cook?
Ooh, maybe.
That would be dumb.
Oh, speaking of Dalvin Cook, we have another comment here.
Yeah.
My son, I think, has been eating your Cheerios, Benz. Please tell me you're all going to talk about the Vikings. I feel like they just woke up and will finish hard.
Unfortunately, young Combs, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's unfortunate for Vikings fans everywhere that they're waking up. We wanted them to stay asleep. It's interesting. Dalvin Cook has woken up. The offensive line's woken up. Kirk Cousins is still Kirk Cousins. Thank God
They are going to annihilate my Bears on Monday Night Football.
I don't think so. We just can't win. We just can't beat in Chicago. That's just the curse. It's just the way it is.
They're going to beat the Bears this weekend. I'm just telling you. Look, I'm down on my Bears, man. The play calling
as
is
you
just,
should be.
The play calling is a joke.
You just came back to earth. You're not down. You just came back to reality.
I don't understand how we can't adjust freaking play calling. We hired the guy because he's an offensive genius, an offensive guru, and he can't do nothing on offense.
No. Nope. That's it.
All right, at number 5, and I think that this is gross, and I think you are out of your mind, and they are way too low in your power rankings. The Green Bay Packers.
Is it because you're a fucking Vikings fan? Is it because you're a Vikings fan?
No, I've had Green Bay at number 1 multiple times this year.
Oh, this is horrible.
So they beat the 49ers, right? They beat the 49ers 34-17. If you call that the San Francisco 49ers, you're high. You've been hitting the frickin' whiskey, rum chata, fucking.
They're the best team in the NFC.
Yes, hands down.
I don't believe that.
I won't say they're the best team in the NFC. I think that's the Seahawks. But I do think
the Packers are the best team in the NFC.
Come on, boys. Open your eyes and watch one of their games. They're not. Look,
not all of us wear Drew Brees penis socks.
No,
we don't all wear those.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the Packers are good. They have Devontae Adams, and they have Aaron Rodgers, and an Aaron Jones that I still don't think is 100%. I get it, okay? But their strength of schedule is not there. We were talking about strength of schedule about the Buccaneers, and you guys were on board there that their strength of schedule is piss poor. Now they got the Jags this Sunday. Then they're going to play the Colts. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts fucking shut their ass down, and then they got to go cream the Bears. That will happen just because Aaron Rodgers fucking hates the Bears. So there's that. Don't get me wrong. The Packers are there, but I still don't think that they're a title contender. They're not a tier 1 team currently. Yes, you heard it.
Smoking crack.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Out of your mind.
You watch that
NFC
defense.
Championship game right there is the Packers and the Seahawks.
Oh my God. Back it up. Why?
How?
Because you like both of their quarterbacks.
Have you not seen what Green Bay has done with West?
They both have bottom-level defenses, boys. If they're going up against these other NFC teams, they are going to get carved up.
Please tell me.
What do you mean? You're going to go – what are you talking about? There's multiple – you go up against the Saints in of itself. They're going to slow the game down. That's just what they do. You go up against some of these other wild card teams that are going to get in, possibly. You go up against a team like, let's say, there's plenty of teams, boys. You just got to look. You got to watch some of their games.
Can I ask you? I have watched some of their games, and I said that the Green Bay Packers are the best team in the NFC. What happened when the Green Bay Packers played the New Orleans Saints? They beat them. They scored 37 points on them.
Sure.
How is their defense not better than the Saints' defense?
So if you look at – no, come on now. Come on. You know that the Saints have a better defense. Look at all the stats.
They beat them 37-30. They put up 37 on that Saints defense.
I understand that. So what are you trying to say? So is the Bucs defense shit because they got rolled on?
No, the Bucks defense isn't shit.
Okay, so you're saying that the Saints defense is shit because the Packers scored a lot of points on them.
No, I'm saying you're in love with the New Orleans Saints for some reason, and you have them
the
ahead of the
New
Packers,
Orleans
and I think
Saints
that's nuts.
I'm in love with the New Orleans Saints because they're 6-2. They've won 5 straight, and they've scored 44 more points than they've given up this season. I'm in love with that. They're 3-1 at home, 3-1 away. They can play both home and away, and they're a balanced team, and they're just getting healthier as the season goes on.
And if they go head-to-head with the Packers, they would lose again.
Why?
Absolutely. Because the Packers are a better team. Packers have a better offense, and the Packers defense is just as good as the Saints defense.
That's the problem. No. God, no. How can you say that the Packers are giving up like almost 150 rushing yards to a running back a game? What are you talking about? They get ran all over, boys. All right, this is that. Packers lost to the frickin' Vikings, bro. Okay? Now watch. The Saints are going to roll the Vikings on Christmas Day.
First of all, anybody losing to the Vikings, to me, is not a bad loss. The Vikings were a team that before the season, everybody was talking about going and being the best team in the NFC North. But they still had all of that power on offense. They were still scoring a lot of points, even in their losses. The Vikings is not a bad loss to me. But
my God, boys! If all you're doing is watching SportsCenter highlights and then judging my top 10, you gotta start watching some football and start watching these games. Don't just watch the Bears because that's gonna put you in a piss poor mood. And then I get a hold of you on a Tuesday night and you're still butthurt from your Bears shitting the bed. I don't want to hear about that. All right, I'm watching. Every game, boys.
Here's what I think. I think you're watching the highlights because you're married and you're trying to spend more time with the wifey, and then you're making your power rankings. Because there's no way the Green Bay Packers are not better than the New Orleans Saints right now. But I will digress, and we will get to number 4.
Yeah,
the New Orleans Saints.
The New Orleans Saints, 6-2. They beat the Bucks 38-3. They played the 49ers, which is whatever there. So they beat the Bears, the Chargers, the Lions, and the Bucks twice. Very easy schedule remaining, except for the Chiefs week. Right?
Chip Cannon, who made this top 10 list, and did Jay have an influence?
I wish. I miss Jay, man. So the Saints defense is only giving up 80 rushing yards per game, right? Shutting down the run, making people beat them by the pass, and that's why the Pack beat them, right? Makes sense. The defense is clicking more and more each week. That's why they've won 5 in a row. That's why they're putting people to shame, and that's why they keep moving up my rankings. Even when you said they shouldn't have been in my rankings, they just keep winning, and that's what they're going to continue to do. Don't be surprised if the Saints beat the Chiefs. Don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
God.
That's it.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't even know what to say about 5 and 4, okay. But even worse than 5 and 4 is your number 3, because this team does not belong in the top 5.
All right, and let me tell you why they do.
Okay. The Baltimore Ravens.
No, they don't belong.
You have the Baltimore Ravens better than the Saints, the Packers, the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. So tell me why you love the Baltimore Ravens so much.
All right. So they beat the Colts 24-10. That is a trap game. They're going to smoke the Patriots on Sunday, and then they go on to play the Titans, the Steelers, the Cowboys, and the Browns. This strength of schedule that the Ravens have played and will continue to play this year is a gauntlet, for one. And they're 6-2-0 so far. That's just the first one. Number 2, they're the number 1 ranked rushing offense in the NFL. They're averaging 170 yards rushing each game, and they have the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL, giving up only 17.8 points per game. They are balanced on both sides of the ball, and yes, Lamar is sketchy. Yes, a lot more teams are understanding what Lamar does, but if they can figure out more and more ways each week to score points and win games, it's going to be tough, boys. It's going to be tough. Their schedule is very tough, but with that schedule deserves some respect. You see it in college football all the time. Strength of schedule has a lot to do with where teams are getting ranked, even if they're losing games, and they've only dropped 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised. You got to think, they hung with the Steelers all the way through, right? They hung with the Steelers all the way through. They hang with teams, and that's what they do. They're not going to blow teams out of the water like they did last year with scoring all those points. But if they can stay close, that defense is going to keep them in the games every week.
You're talking strength of schedule, okay?
Yep.
They beat the Browns. Okay. They beat the Texans. Okay.
Yep.
They lost to the Chiefs.
Correct.
Then they beat the not Redskins anymore. Okay. Then they beat the Bengals. Then they beat the Eagles. And then they lost to the Steelers. And then they beat the Colts. They've got... I don't...
That's a strength of schedule.
What is that a strength of schedule?
I'm saying
all of their strong teams they've lost to.
No, not necessarily. So you don't think the Colts are strong?
No.
Just because they're not a top 10 team, you don't think they're a strong team? I don't think they're a strong team. That defense is strong as shit.
So if I give you I'll give you the Colts. How about the Eagles?
The Eagles No, that's a walk, but that's a trap
game.
Game. Tell me it's not.
Bengals.
Bengals can win games. That's a trap game as well.
The Washington not Redskins anymore.
Good defense, not a strong team.
The Texans.
But what I'm saying, Combs, Texans are still decent. But you're not understanding what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying. That they have won the games that they were supposed to win, and they have lost the games that people would say they were going to lose.
I'm with you. You beat who's in front of you. I'm with you on that. I give you that because I said the same thing about the Steelers.
Sure. Yep.
You know what I mean? People will say the same thing about the Steelers, and I say, but so what? They're still 8-0. And I get what you're saying with the Ravens on that. But if you're talking about they've played a strong schedule, they haven't played a strong schedule, and the two strong teams that they've played against, they've lost.
Sure, understandable. So I expect them to obviously win this weekend against the Patriots. That's still trap game.
And they should.
They should. That's one of those games that they will win. Now, when it comes down to Titans, Steelers, Cowboys, Browns, I put the Cowboys even in there as a trap game. That's the gauntlet. That's what's going to tell us if my take at them being a number 3 team in the NFL, if that holds up. So we'll see. That's why I got them there.
LeBlanc?
At number 2. Go ahead, LeBlanc.
I don't see why you have – Lamar's been shaky. He's going down.
Yep.
That defense is the only thing that's keeping this Ravens team alive. That's it.
Right.
So, look, you talk about like when they go and they play the Cowboys, it may be a trap game, but I do think the Cowboys will be able to beat them, and I do think the Browns will beat them too.
That's an interesting take. Let's make sure that they get by the Patriots and I don't look like a complete bozo. But
I think they'll beat the Patriots. I mean, we saw what the Patriots did against the Jets.
The Titans, Steelers, before they even get to the Cowboys and Browns. But this is where you see, are they a playoff team or aren't they? This is where you'll see. Next, at number 2, you ready?
The Pittsburgh Steelers at
they
number 2.
Ain't no Pittsburgh Steelers. This was a tough one. I talked about this last week with Buck. I talked about how I had the Steelers at number 1 and I had the Chiefs at number 2. And I said, if the Steelers don't show me a little more electricity in their game, that they're going to drop down because the Chiefs are being electric. Even though the Chiefs beat the Panthers only 33-31, the Steelers beat the Cowboys 24-19. And the whole game really – they were getting beat by the Cowboys. And that's saying something, you know? The Cowboys is a team where you have to get up and realize this is still an NFL game that you're walking into. This is still an NFL team.
Didn't you just say that the Cowboys were a trap team for the Baltimore Ravens, and now you're giving the Steelers crap for beating them but playing tough?
No, I said that they are a trap game. We just saw that with the Steelers. It's a trap game because teams don't come prepared to play a team like the Cowboys this year without Dak. That's what I'm saying. So they got the Bengals this Sunday, the Steelers do. That defense in of itself is electric. But seeing that defense
I think
play
the
against
Bengals
the Cowboys,
will hand them their first loss of the season this weekend.
You think?
Yes,
I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
Their loss this season is going to come either to Baltimore or to Cleveland, or maybe they might lose both. But that's where their losses are going to be. They're not losing to Cincinnati.
What is Cincinnati? 2-5, 1-6 now.
Oh yeah, and they'll play spoiler all year long. That's
And
definitely
they
what
are
they do.
the best 1-5 or 1-6, 2-5 team in the league. They are literally a few pieces away from really being
The Bengals are better than everybody we thought.
Yeah, I think Joe Exotic is just better than a lot of people thought.
Chip Cannon chiming in again. I just want to say that this trip to Imagination Land has been great, but can we please get to reality? Can someone please give us a more reasonable top 10 list?
Yeah, Chip. Hey, Chip, I'll tell you where to go right now. If you want to see one that's really similar, go look on any major sport network, and they'll have a very similar top 10. Not the same, very similar. So fuck off, Chip. At number 1. Chip, let me tell you this right now. I do this shit for free, son. So fuck off. All right, at number 1.
At number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs.
They beat the Panthers 33-31. They play the Raiders on Sunday, which is obviously a tough matchup for them. We saw that earlier on in the season. I think that'll be a great game. They have the Bucks after that, the Broncos, Dolphins, and Saints. Chiefs are really going to push it these next couple weeks. It's going to be interesting to see if people can stay healthy, especially against a lot of these tough defenses. Raiders, Bucks, Broncos, Dolphins, Saints. Those are defensive teams that can also put up points. That's going to be interesting to see if they can still keep up their number 2 scoring offense in the NFL, 31.8 points per game. It'll be exciting. I love it when the Chiefs play good teams, because then they don't have to play down to the level. When they play good teams, they come out ready to go. When they play teams like the Raiders, they come flat.
I like the Chiefs. I don't right now. I don't like them better than the Steelers. But I think that it would be a very interesting matchup, them two on the same field. I don't
even like the Steelers at number 2, if I'm being honest.
Sure, that's an understandable flip. I could see the Steelers at 1 and Chiefs at 2.
I don't like tough, the Steelers at number 1, honestly.
Ooh,
Chip's coming back at you.
Even though they are an undefeated team, I like Steelers at number 3.
Chip, you would know if you just listened to all these crazy takes that I just had. These ain't coming from any website, homeboy. Once again, Chip, put a profile picture on there and get your life together. Jesus fuck. Jesus fuck, Chip. I bet Chip's sitting on his couch eating a bag of chips right now with chips all over his fat ass gut and a dog on the floor licking his fucking chips off his guts, Chip. Okay, Chip. Fucking Chip. You can tell Chip don't watch Twist, man. We'd cut his ass. Fucking Chip's that guy going out on weekends playing flag football with 8th graders. I don't want to fucking hear about it, Chip. Go back to fucking Pornhub, Chip. You're on the wrong stream, bud. Go back to Pornhub. Fuck.
Oh my god. Oh.
Better yet, PM me, drop me a DM, Chip. Send me your address. I'll send you a big tub of Vaseline, you fuck.
I can't with this guy tonight.
This is the after hour, right?
Oh, man. Welcome to Man Hour After Dark.
What's up? Put your kids to bed.
Where we give no fucks and we go after our listeners.
That's what it's all about. Keep coming back, Chip. No, I like it. Shit. I like it, boys. That's what's the best part about this season, 2020. This shit is a trip. What do you say? Let's hear it.
He said at least Pornhub has a better top 10 list.
Hey, beautiful. Good for you. As they do, Chip. As they do. Good for you. Chip Cannon, everyone.
Oh my beautiful. God.
It's a live and interactive show, people. That's what it's all about. So, good shit.
All right, Benzie. So that was your top 10, man. Maybe this week you'll actually get to watch some football and come up with a better list.
Hopefully.
All I know, boys, is even no matter what happens this weekend, I'll still see you guys next week. There you go.
Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
Boys.
All right, Benzie. Have a good one, buddy.
Yep. Later, boys.
Later.
So,
that freaking guy, man.
Top 10 list. I mean, I'm being honest. I don't like the Steelers at number 1 or number 2. They came out against the Cowboys and they showed some vulnerabilities. And I think the Cowboys really kind of showed a blueprint on how to beat the Steelers. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. The Cowboys should have won that game. There was 3 or 4 calls that were game changers that should have went in the Cowboys' favor. That would have put the Cowboys a W.
But don't you feel like the Cowboys are that trap team for everybody right now? Like everybody's going to go in there thinking they're going to whoop that ass.
I don't, because that defense all season long has been just atrocious. They really couldn't get it figured out on offense. And let's be honest, even this Sunday on offense, Zeke only had, 60 yards? Tony Pollard had...
And they still got a 10... They still got a ton of weapons. A ton of weapons on offense.
They do, but, I mean, they really shut down their receiver. The Cowboys really shut down their receivers this week. They played... Yeah. They played in a nice cover 2 zone, and they stayed in that cover 2 zone a lot, and they used their linebackers a lot in coverage. And I really think, people are going to watch that game film, and more qualified defensive coordinators than Mike Nolan will actually take a look at that and use it and build upon it and make it better going in to their week and scheme for it a little better. Right. I think the Cowboys kind of provided a blueprint.
See, I don't really think they provided a blueprint. I think that, again, they had weapons. I think that the Steelers had a down week, which in a 16-week season you're going to have that. And again, I think that they took the Cowboys lightly. They also had a quarterback. They're going up against a quarterback they had no knowledge of. There's no game planning for him. There's no film for him. So that always throws a monkey in the wrench too. I mean, I know Justin Herbert's been really good all year, but look at how he came out in week 2 and what he did versus the Chiefs, who at that time were clicking on all cylinders, and what he did to the Chiefs as a rookie, as his first game playing, because there's really no game planning for that. There's no game film for that. So I don't think that there's really a blueprint for this, because that defense is really, really good. Ben Roethlisberger has been really, really good. I think that they would have had a better game if he didn't get hurt in the first half as well.
That defense is really good, but for a no-name rookie or a journeyman pretty much like Garrett Gilbert to come out and have the kind of game that he had against the Steelers, kind of tells you a little something about that defense.
No, see, again, but there was no game planning for me. Like, I think you have an advantage as a quarterback.
But I mean, if you were a fucking solid defense, top 10 defense, it really doesn't matter who you're going up against. Let's be honest. I like to use San Francisco, the 49ers from last season. That defense, it did not matter who the hell you were going up against.
We talk about the Bucs defense being really good, right?
I mean,
look what the Bears did to them. And the Bears' offense is horrible.
I don't think the Bucs defense is really good. I think the Bucs defense is a little above.
They're the only team that has shut down the Packers this year.
They're good. I think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers just came out and had an off game.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened with the Steelers this week.
That's the worst that Aaron Rodgers has looked all season long against the Bucs.
Yeah. All right, so you don't like the Steelers at 1 or 2, so I'm guessing you have the Packers and the Chiefs at 1 and 2?
I have the Chiefs at number 1, the Packers at number 2, and then the Steelers at number 3, Seahawks at number 4.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can see, to me that's about, I can't have the Ravens, so I think that the Ravens, to me, his whole list is where he lost me, even though, I mean, I don't like the Seahawks at 7. I'd like them more at like 4 or 5 as well. Mm-hmm. The Ravens, to me, look, if I go through his list, I would take the Buccaneers over the Ravens. Yep. I would take the Cardinals over the Ravens. Yep. I would take the Seahawks over the Ravens. I would take the Packers over the Ravens, the Saints, the Steelers, the Chiefs. So I really have the Ravens at like 7 or 8.
Yeah,
I
would go as far as the way the Dolphins are playing. I might take the Dolphins over the Ravens. I mean, that defense for the Ravens is really the only thing that is really saving them in these games. If you look at the the play from Lamar Jackson, it is definitely not what it was last year at all.
Yeah.
That offense, and then Mark Ingram is out, so that offense has kind of been sputtering the last couple of weeks, scoring just enough points, and the defense bailing them out, and not letting the other team score as many points. So,
right.
When you look at them, they're not high scoring games.
No, I mean, I'm not so sure. I'm not sold. Like, I like the Dolphins, and I think they're a great story right now. I'm just not sold on them being better than the Ravens. I'm really not sold on them being better than like the Cardinals or Tampa.
No.
I have them. I do think that they're better than. I would take them over Buffalo right now. I think they could beat Buffalo. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to come out and win that division. Even though they're what, 2 games now behind Buffalo, or a game behind Buffalo.
I think they're
one or the other.
Buffalo.
But I don't know. I really like what the Dolphins are doing. The coaching is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely turning things around in Miami.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, absolutely. So I don't know. I like them. I'm not so much sure I like them more than the Ravens. But I do like them. And by season's end, who knows? They could be an upset pick in the playoffs over a team like the Ravens or something, for sure.
Yep.
Definitely poised to pull off an upset.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So all of this talk about J.J. Watt, do you think J.J. Watt gets out of Houston before the season's over?
No. And here's why. In order to get out of Houston, you have to get released.
I mean,
and
pretty unhappy.
If you're the Houston Texans, you can't get nothing in return for J.J. Watt. You can't. You've got to go out. You've got to weather the storm for this year. I get he's unhappy. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to go play for a ring. That's great. You can go play for a ring in 2021. Because I have to get something for you, and I was too stupid to move you at the trade deadline. Because they should have moved him before the trade deadline.
100%. Who do you think he goes to?
Oh, God. He fits everywhere. Every team in the league would love to have him. A team that I can see him, and I hate to say it, but the Green Bay Packers is a good fit for him.
I like him with the Steelers with his brother.
The Steelers with oh God, would that be sick? The Steelers with his brother, yeah. Kansas City would be a good fit for him too. I'm thinking of teams that he could win a ring with. If he went to like a team like Buffalo, he would really, man, that front seven, that would be the nastiest front seven in all of football if he went to the Buffalo Bills. And they've got a team that can compete for a Super Bowl. They're not that far off from being a Super Bowl team. So I don't know, man. Where would you have him going?
I like him with the Steelers. He's only going to go to a team that's going to be able to compete for a ring.
Yep.
If he gets released or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. J.J. Watt's going to have a say on where he goes.
Yep.
So I've got him either going to the Packers, the Steelers, the Chiefs, and maybe the Cardinals.
Cardinals would be interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this, and I had this conversation with Buck last night. Tom Brady goes out on Sunday night, gets shellacked, and now all the talk is, Tom Brady is going to fall off a cliff, and he's getting old, and he's showing his age. I think it's just he had a bad game.
100%. Tom Brady just had a bad game last night.
Yeah.
Every quarterback has a bad game. Doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Doesn't matter who you are. You're going to have one bad game in the season, and I think this is the one bad game in the season. They got down early, and then Tom Brady was forcing things to make plays happen. Yeah, and that's what happened. And he had a bad game. He threw
and that's what I chalk it up to. And all these people out there saying, "Oh, Tom Brady's I told you guys he was a system quarterback." Blah 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 blah. Well, the Patriots only lost one key cog in that system, and that was Tom Brady. And where are they now? They were 12-4 last year with the same exact team minus Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that Tom Brady was a system quarterback, for one.
And
for two, the New England Patriots.
I have to admit I was wrong because I was one of those that said, no, Tom Brady's a system quarterback. And this was going to be the year where we found out if he was a system quarterback or he was the man.
Yeah.
And everybody out there listening, Tom Brady's the man. He's proved it this season. And I think Tom Brady has another 2 or 3 years left in him to go out and maybe win, 1 or 2 Super Bowls.
Jesus Christ, if he wins 1 or 2 more Super Bowls, holy shit.
All he needs to win is 1.
Holy cow.
If Tom Brady wins a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I will swallow my pride and I will say Tom Brady is the GOAT.
And then I heard, so the Patriots go out last night. They almost get beat by the New York Jets. They come back. The Jets do, and I kind of think the Jets maybe even lost that game on purpose to still tank for Trevor. But I get these Patriots fans are Patriots fans. I hate Patriots fans. That fan base is the worst fan base in all of sports. Their fans are freaking annoying as hell, and I'm hearing on Facebook and I'm seeing people type in, I told the Patriots, I told you Bill Belichick was the man. This win was all on Bill Belichick. You had to come back in the fourth quarter against the winless Jets. What are you talking about? Your team is still awful. If you were playing anybody last night other than the New York Jets, you don't win. I don't understand.
No,
I don't understand.
Anybody else but the Jets. If you were playing the Cincinnati Bengals last night, you would have taken an L.
Yes. And those same people that are typing, oh, Bill Belichick's the greatest, and Bill Belichick proved it last night in that win, are the same people that if they didn't come back and win that game would have been saying, we need to get rid of Bill Belichick. He needs to be fired. They would have been ready to freaking jump off the Empire State Building. I made a joke last night that if the New York Jets beat the New England Patriots, New England would separate from the United States and float off into the Atlantic from the simultaneous head explosions of all of their fan base.
Can we have California do that? Can we just have California do that?
California keeps having earthquakes. They might. Hell, we keep having freaking hurricanes down in the southeast. They might be underwater in a few years.
Man, you had some bad weather tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, oh man, it was bad here. We had 60-mile-an-hour winds and some heavy rain and a big storm. But, Hey, so today is Marine Corps birthday. I want to, again, say happy birthday to all my Marines, all my brothers and sisters. I love you all those who did not come back and paid the ultimate sacrifice. We love you as well. I do a lot of stuff with the Till Valhalla project. Do a lot of donations with them, wear a lot of their shirts. You guys see them all the time when I'm on the podcasts. I'm all about, giving back to the veterans, PTSD awareness and all of that stuff. So tomorrow, make sure if you see a veteran, thank a veteran, and thank everybody out there who has served. Mike, I know you are a Army Ranger as well. Thank you for your service as well.
Look, I'm going to tell everybody out there, and you, Combs, you served, so I'm sure you understand this. When you tell a veteran tomorrow anything, don't tell them thank you for your service. Tell them thank you for your sacrifice. Don't tell a veteran thank you for your service, because it fucks with us, right? Yeah. Thank you for my service, thank me for going over there and killing a bunch of people. That's cool, right? No, thank you for your sacrifice. Tell a veteran that instead.
Yeah, well said. Well said. I mean, it's there are people out there who, and I've got friends who battle it, and PTSD, man, it's a real thing, and it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to see, and it's a tough thing to deal with.
It's a very real thing. I still suffer from PTSD. I have my days. There's days that I will literally just sit on the couch in front of a blank TV and put a hoodie on and put it over my head and don't talk to me the rest of the day. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
So
so
for all of you guys out there dealing with PTSD, hey, you're not alone. Drop me a DM. I'm here.
Yeah. Absolutely, same here. That's the one thing that's the Till Valhalla project is about. You're not fighting this fight alone, and I would much rather talk to you about your demons at 3 a.m. than to hear that you are no longer with us. So at any point, anytime, anybody battling those demons, feel free to reach out. I mean, I'll just sit there and listen. You could talk. You can. I'll just sit there and listen. If you want me to talk back, I'll talk back. But anything we got to do to help you out, we will do. And also, Mike LeBlanc, I know tomorrow is Veterans Day. You are a veteran, and you are also a New York Yankees fan, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you know that I collect all this autographed memorabilia and stuff. So
Yep.
after the show, I want you to send me your address because I've got this little beauty right here for you. This one is it's signed by Ronald Torres. He's a career minor leaguer, but it's still a nice piece to have, something you could display, something you could put in the background for the show or
Man,
something
that's
like
awesome.
that.
Thank
And,
you, brother. Thank you.
so I want you to shoot me your address, and I'll send that thing out to you. Have that bad boy out to you by this weekend. So
Thank you, brother.
absolutely.
Thank you.
So not a problem. So we are out of time.
Cheers. Happy birthday to the Marines, you bunch of fucking crayon-eating motherfuckers.
Hoorah!
All right, guys. Catch us tomorrow night. Same bad time, same bad channel. Cheers, fuckers.